So I was messing about in the studio today and I thought that I would make for you guys a really good fall cocktail. It's one of my own recipes and it's actually one that I've been seeing make the rounds on the internet a little bit, like a Proud Papa. So I thought that I would make one for you today. I've also noticed that there was a step missing out of some of the ones that I saw. So I figured, hey, why not just make it today? Today's episode is sponsored by CookUnity. CookUnity is the first chef-to-consumer platform delivering freshly prepared, pre-selected meals right to your door every week. I've talked about CookUnity on this channel before, and if you haven't already, I'd encourage you to check them out because they are the most convenient way to get a whole variety of restaurant quality food from award-winning chefs delivered right to your door. What could be better than that? And they balance all of the flavor and nutrition inside their creations to give you something that is nutritious, super delicious, and easy to make, which actually saves my butt quite a bit. When we shoot, I am very busy. I have 2 children, they go to school, and I struggle to be able to like eat breakfast and eat lunch on these long shoot days that we do. You can just take a break right at 12. It's ready in 10 to 15 minutes. Real chefs make each meal every week in small batches in regional micro kitchens located all over the country. One of the chefs that I love the meals from the most is John DeLucci, a New York City chef that has been around for a couple of decades. So go to cookunity.com/barfly or click the link in the description below and use my code BARFLY to get 50% off your first order of CookUnity meals to try them out for yourself. So I figured, hey, why not just make it today? It's called a Sagehen. It's a cocktail that I made in 2013 at Cole's French Dip, and it was for a competition called the Jimmy Barella competition that we did every year during Repeal Day. Like we would have the big Repeal Day celebration at Cole's, and then at night we'd do a competition at the Varnish, and I came in second place with this cocktail.
Classic.
What do you mean classic?
Don't you always come in like second?
Yeah, I always do. Yeah, I always come in. I've never like taken it. Like my cocktails, I've never taken it. Like I've always been like, yeah, second place. It's like always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of thing. But that's okay. I don't mind. My cocktails are fire anyway. And if anyone doesn't know what a Sagehen is, it's like a little chicken-style bird that runs around in the desert. I used to date a girl whose parents lived in Sedona, Arizona, and every Thanksgiving we would go visit them in Sedona. And it was really nice because during Thanksgiving it's completely empty, and they lived in a house that in the backyard was a hike that you could go up into this Red Rock Canyon. And there was a bunch of little Sagehens there, and her dad was like a really outdoorsy guy. So like my girlfriend and some friends and her mom would all sit in the house and watch TV all day, and I didn't want to do that, so we would all, like I would go fishing with her dad, go hiking. It's really cool back there too. It's really nice, very quiet. It was like a very nice Thanksgiving tradition that I had. And so I made this cocktail as my inspiration, those little sage hens running around. And there was also a lot of wild sage there. So I guess the sage hens maybe eat sage. That's why they're called sage hens?
Maybe, or they like to hide in the sage.
Or maybe like to hide in the sage, yeah. But
maybe they look like sage.
Sage goes crazy when it gets like, when you let it grow, it goes wild crazy. So yeah, they could definitely hide in like a big bush of sage. Or maybe they, I don't know, maybe they smell like sage. I don't know, maybe they...
The birds smell like sage?
Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe because they're hiding in the sage. Sage is very aromatic. If you wipe your hands on it, your hands smell like sage. So if they're hiding in the sage, they smell like sage. And then hence, and they look like little hens. Hence the sage hen. I don't know. But before we make the cocktail, hit like, hit subscribe, help out our channel. It's the free way to make sure that you can help us do what we need to do what we do for you. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? All right, let's do that. I'll give you guys a couple seconds, then we'll make the cocktail. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3/4 ounce of lemon juice into our tin. This is sage infused wildflower honey. The way that I did it back in the day is different than the way I do it now. The way that I did it back in the day was I made a 3-to-1 honey syrup, and then I took like 5 to 6 sage leaves for every half cup of this and threw it in there into a pot, brought it to a simmer, and then let it sit for 24 hours. So if you wanna do this the analog way, you can. Now I use a sous vide, so I just toss this in there with 4 or 5 sage leaves, and then I sous vide it at 145 degrees for about 2 hours. And it's like super sage forward. We're gonna do 1/2 ounce of our sage infused wildflower honey. Now, this is where a lot of the recipes didn't get the recipe right. And so, sorry to correct you guys on here, but you guys didn't utilize the apple. So I like to cut the cheek off of a Honeycrisp apple, which is the best apple for apple pies. I like to actually do 3/4 Honeycrisp, 1/4 Granny Smith for my apple pies, and it's like, chef's kiss. And I make apple pies every single year for Thanksgiving. So it all plays into the theme of this cocktail. So I'll just cut the cheek off here. I'm gonna dice it and then throw it in here as well. We're gonna do half an ounce here of our yellow chartreuse, or chartreuse alternative. Works well that way as well. Okay. And then...
And Truffles has been making some his own version, which, I don't know.
I feel like we should test that.
Yeah.
We should test the truffles and then test it against chartreuse and see how good it is. All right, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces here of our Plymouth Gin. And I like Plymouth Gin for this because it is very earthy in its flavor profile. So it's close to London Dry, but it has a earthier kind of tone to it, and it goes really well with the apple and the, you know, chartreuse and everything. And then we're gonna get a muddler here and we're gonna muddle this apple. You want to make sure to give all the apples a good muddle. I don't know if I'm overutilizing apple here, cutting off an entire cheek, but it definitely makes for a good cocktail. So you could utilize a little less apple maybe, I don't know. It's possible. The apple's gonna give this a nice texture as well though, because we are gonna double strain it, but it's not gonna double strain all of the texture out, and so you're gonna get this really nice texture in the cocktail. So we're gonna add our ice. Actually, usually add it to this tin, so let's do that. Add a good amount of ice, but you know, leave some space for aeration. Grab our glass as well where we're at it. We're gonna need a somewhat voluminous glass. Make sure you have a Cooper cocktail glass about, give it a shake. We're just gonna double strain it here. You see all that nice texture? That's from the apple, dude. Oh, and then we're gonna give it a little slappy poo here on a sage leaf, because we don't want those sage notes missing from the cocktail. We'll just layer it on top. Cheers, big ears. So good. You get texture and appleiness from the apple. I don't know if I can be a little more explicit than that. You get a bit of the tartness from the lemon juice, but the lemon juice is really playing into those sage flavors. The sage leaf on top is really helping that sage and the honey come out, and then you have that savoriness of the honey along with the botanicals of the gin and that kind of earthiness. It is very well balanced. It is a lovely cocktail for Thanksgiving. So here it is, guys, the Sage Hen. All right, guys, there you have it, the perfect Thanksgiving cocktail. And even though it's after Thanksgiving, it's not after Christmas. So you can just drink it there. And now I'm making sure that Marius will edit this very soon.
But it might not be posted.
Hey, but it'll be winter months still, probably, hopefully, right? Like January, February. And it's January, February, it's still good. You know, get that sage. And if it's the summertime, why not have a sage cocktail anyway? Just have it all the time. It's a great cocktail for every time of year. All right, guys, that's it for our episode. So if you like our channel, please hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys on another time.